All right there, ladies and gents, how's it going? I'm out on the Tuareg, as Lord Bilious has named it for me. Tuareg, that's kind of appropriate, I think. This little naughty little scamp that I'm on. Yeah, out on the brand new Aprilia Tuareg 660. Loving it, loving it, loving it. I'm actually out testing some of the various modes on the bike and stuff at the moment, seeing if they make a huge difference to how the bike feels and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, we'll talk about that once we get on a better road.
Keep that bike. Drop aside. Down.
So something I noticed on my last ride on the bike, this is after I'd made the first impressions review of the bike, was that it was a little bit weird on a neutral throttle at sort of 30 and 40 miles per hour. Now I know because I'm running it in, I'm currently running at sort of lower revs than I would necessarily be in all situations. But yeah, the non-programmable modes, the urban and the Explore, they were yeah, they were giving me some issues. I'm not sure exactly where I'm going here, so I'm just following my nose. Yeah, we're on a neutral throttle when at sort of 30 mile an hour or 40 miles an hour, and probably other speeds in between, it would just sort of almost feel like it was stuttering, or like it was running out of fuel or something like that. And I think it was down to the engine map for those modes. Now it's got so many different adjustments and things that you can make on the individual mode to traction control level, ABS level, throttle response, and engine braking, but you can't change them on those two modes. You can only change them on the off-road mode and the individual mode. And I don't even think you can change them all on the off-road mode. So I'm actually sitting in the individual mode at the moment to see if I can make any difference to how that feels. Currently what I have done is I've gone up to the full aggressive engine management map, and so far touch wood, I pretty much feel like it's fixed it. I didn't notice the problem at all while I was out green laning on the bike, and I think that's because the off-road mode already has the aggressive throttle map selected as the map they use for that particular mode. So yeah, I'm hoping that sorts it all out, and I'm also hoping that Aprilia come up with some kind of firmware release or something like that at some point in the future to just how the pre-programmed maps respond. I'm hoping. It's not that it was unrideable or anything like that, it just felt a little bit weird when you're on a neutral throttle. And all the while I've got the individual map and I can tailor it away, I'm quite happy to just do that and have whatever settings I require on that individual map, and then just flip to off-road when I go off-road. So it kind of does what I need it to do. It just means I've got two obsolete maps until Aprilia adjust them to make them better. But yeah, interesting stuff. I've also had a good read of the manual for this now, so I'm a little bit more familiar with everything on the bike, and it makes a lot more sense actually having read the manual. So RTFQ, RTFQ. Yeah, so I feel like I know the bike a little bit better from having done that. One problem with the manual get given with the bike, one is it's about as thick as the Britannia Encyclopedia or whatever it's called, but also it's a really small print, and my eyesight is not good enough to be able to cope with that. So yeah, I don't know where I'm going. So I got a download off the Aprilia website. It's quite nice that they offer that as a PDF as well as a actual paper copy with the bike. So yeah, I had a little read of that, and it was quite interesting sort of. And I noticed on the run-in procedure with the bike, it doesn't really give you a huge amount of detail on it. What they say is to keep it below 7,000 RPM before the first service at 600 and something miles at 1,000 kilometers. But the shift light on this comes on at 6,000 RPM, so I was just sticking with 6,000, which isn't going to do any harm for the first few hundred miles. But yeah, so I've done that. Now I've upped it to 7,000, and now I've got an extra 10 miles an hour, which I like 10 miles an hour. It's really fun exploring all these back roads on this bike. I mentioned on the video on my V85 when I was out with Pez on his little C200 Cub that exploring these sort of back lanes is great fun on a small CC bike, and it really is, and that is actually why I got myself the CB100, is to do this sort of stuff. But it's also good fun doing it on a bike like this as well. Obviously when you're not being restricted by someone on a 90cc moped. You can see right over the hedges and all that, and yeah, it's just a really quite a pleasant place to be. Now, is this it? Trap lane, yes it is. Cool. I found my way to somewhere. What I'm also doing today is just checking out some of the lanes locally to me. Now this one I don't believe's got any trees down on it. We didn't try it out the other day, but I don't believe it's got any trees down on it. But I'll give it a little look, a little explore. And it's also got a tiny little water crossing as well, so that will be fun as well. Right, let's stick it in off-road mode. Right, we are in off-road mode. Yeah, so with this motorcycle I feel like I'm going to be able to do sort of more explory type videos where it's not just green lane and it's not just tarmac. It will be a bit of both, and it's less interesting doing that on the Beta. That's far more suited to just off-road videos, and my road bikes are obviously far more suited to just road videos because they don't do the off-road stuff. But this can do everything. Well, maybe not a track day on these tyres. But yeah, this can do everything. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing on the majority of the videos with this, is showing you a little bit of all of it. Maybe that will make those of you that subscribe to my channel for just the road stuff maybe check out some of the off-road stuff. And again, the other way around, maybe some of you who like the off-road stuff might be inclined to check out some of the road stuff too. So win-win, or at least I hope so. This is a nice easy lane, like I say, and it'll be fun to explore it. I'm going to go to some which I know there were trees down. I know there were trees down because when I went out with Pez for my initial first look at this bike video that I made, we did some of those lanes. Unfortunately, I'm an idiot and deleted all the footage, or at least some of the footage, when I was editing the video, and it meant that it didn't make much sense and it didn't really come across very well. So I had to go and remake the video, which meant I did a better job of it, I think, sort of, mostly. So yeah, here we are at the walk crossing. It's nice that they've kind of graded this lane a little bit because it does make it a little less scary, because before it was pretty scary. Yeah, that was me, not the bike falling then. I just didn't give it enough go and I lost my momentum. But yeah, cool, awesome stuff, brilliant. I'm feeling like I'm a bit all over the place, so I just want to check my tyres aren't flat. I really hope they're not flat. Now I did actually drop the pressures, that's alright. It might be just the surface. Yep, they're alright, they're absolutely fine. It's just me being weird. Oh. Alright, let's crack on. Yeah, so I've actually dropped the pressures to the off-road pressures that the Aprilia manual says to go to, which is not mega low. It's 29.5 psi front and rear. I've got off-road tyres. I plan on spending a lot of time off-road on the bike, so it makes sense just to leave the tyres at those pressures. The front pressure stays the same actually, that stays at 29.5, both on and off-road I believe, but the rear does go up to 36, I think I remember it saying, and that's what it was at before, which actually I didn't really have any problems with on the light green lanes that we've done with the bike. No problems at all really, except for on the grass where it was a bit slidey in the grassy mud, but you didn't see that because I didn't release that video because it all went wrong. Thanks for stopping, mate. Thanks for slowing down. Thanks for taking the time to consider me. Yeah, cheers. Well, the rear brake locked up then, which means that it's got a decent amount of power, but it shouldn't have locked up. I should have switched back to on-road mode, or my individual mode, when I came off the dirty bit there, and then that wouldn't have locked, and maybe I would have slowed down a little bit quicker. But I was able to tuck into the side of the road, and no issues really. I guess another thing about doing videos like this on this bike is that you can kind of see some of the roads to the lanes that we ride on. So those of you that are wanting to know where places are that you can ride, you can get some hints and tips from the roads close to them. Yeah, always edit all that stuff out on the beta and only start the camera when we're on the green lane itself. But I don't know whether this is better for you, for your entertainment, or whether the pure off-road stuff or the pure road stuff is more your cup of tea. I don't know. My dirt bike vids don't really do as well. Maybe I'm tagging them or describing them wrong for them to get proper search engine results on YouTube. But it's weird, I always get good comments from my subscribers that they enjoy them. So at the end of the day, I'll make the videos I damn well want, and ride the bikes I damn well want, and go the places I damn well want. And if other people don't like that, then so be it. I don't make YouTube videos to make £1 million or get 1 million subscribers, although that would be nice. So if you've got a spare £1 million, I wouldn't mind it. I'll give you £1,000 change, because I'm good like that. It is so pretty around here. I love all these old buildings, I really do. Just fantastic. It's a beautiful part of the south, this is. Beautiful part of the south. It's all around Leith Hill, this is here right now. And at the top of Leith Hill there's a tower, which is, it looks like castle type stuff, but it's really just a tower, so that the lord of the manor, or whoever it was who built it, can go and stand up there and be taller than anyone else. Leith Hill is actually one of our tallest places down south. I made a video on that. It was a terrible video, but I made a video on that a few years ago. But yeah, Leith Hill, where we're at here, is one of the tallest places down near where I live, which isn't very tall. But it's a nice fun explore anyway. We're not allowed up the hill properly on these sorts of bikes, or even my enduro bike. It's not a byway access up there. If I had an e-bike, you know, one of those mountain bike e-bike things, I could go and play on that up there, but not on an engine or anything with a number plate. Oh, this is beautiful, this is, it really is. Due to my GoPro settings, I only get 2 hours out of a memory card on this at the moment. I do need to start carrying more memory cards, or fit a bigger one, but I've had problems with bigger ones, with them not working properly, and it's a pain in the neck changing. There we go, off-road mode. And we're on a lane, another one, number 2 for the day. Now I know this one's open because this is the one I've done my last 2 videos on this bike with, so I know this one's alright, but it leads to Wolven's Lane, which is a very easy lane, but actually at the moment it's possibly blocked. So yeah, we'll go down and see if that blockage has been cleared. Oh, I've got an itchy ear, I've got an itchy ear, it's the end of the world, I've got an itchy ear. Yeah, this is lovely in first gear, although it does keep turning the blooming high beam on. Oh, really annoying me, that is really annoying. But yeah, it tracked along, no problem at all. And yeah, so this is the same engine map that I was using on the individual mode. And it just seems to work better. I guess every bike works better when it's not being restricted, doesn't it? I will play with the engine braking modes at some point as well, just to see what they sort of feel like. Now then, I know what the right hand side's like, and I'm out by myself, so we are going right. It's even shallower here than it was before, but even so, I don't want to get caught out by myself and find I've got to either lift up the bike, which will be heavy, or even worse, find myself stuck underneath it. But yeah, no problem at all. These Tractionator adventure tyres are great. They're really perfect for the sort of trail riding I'm doing on this bike at the moment. I'm really glad I swapped them out for it. I hope they last reasonably well on the tarmac, but because they're the adventure ones as opposed to the rally, which is the next knobbly level up, they shouldn't be too bad on road miles. They shouldn't be too bad anyway. I've still not taken out the rubber inserts on the foot pegs, which I will be doing at the next time I remember to do so. Yeah, I've got a wet foot at the moment from going through that muddy puddle back there, and I can feel just a little bit of lack of grip on the foot peg, just because my boots aren't able to dig in to the serrated metal edges of them. But I will take them out probably before I next go for a ride on the bike, just because yeah, awesome stuff. It's quite a steep little hill, this. GoPro doesn't ever pick that sort of stuff up, but yeah, it's kind of cool little descent. Just trying not to rely too heavily on the rear brake. I'm just using the engine braking. That's why it's nice having these engine braking modes. You can ramp the engine braking right up like it does on this off-road mode, and it just makes the bike that much more controllable and willing to comply. Just about at the bottom of this one now, and then it's a quick jink left to take us into Wolven's Lane. I need to find out if it's open or not. Now, I'm not sure how well the local council have gotten on with clearing the lanes, so I hope they have at least started it. I don't mind going down and exploring, turning around and coming back and all that sort of stuff, but it is nice linking more together, you know, more of a loop, a comprehensive loop, rather than having to do a load of unnecessary road miles. But it's all part and parcel of having an explore on a motorcycle, isn't it? It's all dandy as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely dandy. Most of this lane you could actually do on completely road-based tyres. I could come down here on my Gixxer with really very little struggling or issues, but it is much nicer having a bike with more useful suspension for it. But it's a glorious day. It's so lovely out. So even if I do have to turn around, which is actually just around this corner here, if they've not cleared that tree, it's not the end of the world. Not the end of the world at all, because it's just fun riding motorcycles, isn't it? Got a little bit of poop down on the lane. Oh look, they've cleared it. Brilliant. It's a pheasant. Hello, pheasant. Yep, so we've got this bit cleared, and that means I assume that the later tree along here is also being cleared, because they've got rid of everything. So that's good news. That's good news. It might mean that we're going to get a good trail ride today. Right. And because it's been a bit drier for the last couple of days and this sun's been out, I'm hoping that means that the slightly wetter lanes will have drained a bit more, and I won't be quite so scared going through any of the puddles along them. As I get more confident on this bike, obviously I'll be less worried anyway, because I'll be able to ride it around them a lot better. Now, if you are following my channel because you're a hell for leather adventure rider that goes off and does 60 billion miles an hour everywhere, you're probably not going to really get a lot of joy out of my content, unless you like watching other people not do that sort of speed. Because that's not really the ethos behind the lanes in the UK, and it's not really the ethos behind my riding either. I like to keep it all as respectable as possible. Alright, so I haven't caught everything, but I can get around it, that's alright. Okay, so there's still that there which does need clearing. I'm sure they will get around to it at some point, but at least it's passable on motorcycles. It's lovely, this little part of the lane. and certainly so much nicer on this bike than it was on my V85 when I come down here a while ago, because this sand here, although it's not mega fluffy, it's fluffy enough to want a 21-inch front and decent grip on the rear. And from now on it's all easy graded stuff, but you can see in front of me it's all just stone chippings. But another reason for keeping the speed down, I guess, is in case they haven't quite cleared all the trees yet. There is, as you can see there, other trees down, but obviously not on the path, thankfully. Some of these have been down for years, although I don't think that one has. I see some of these trees have got numbers on them, and it might mean that they've got to do some woodmanship or whatever you call it, forestry commission stuff, to clear them, make them safe. And I think that's it. I think that's it. Oh, can't believe they've not cleared this one. Can I get past it? No. I mean, I might be able to get around that on an enduro bike, but sadly I can't get around it on this bike here. I know I will get it stuck or drop it. So right, let's use this opportunity to turn the bike around and take a photo of this wonderful, beautiful day. Now, I didn't record the way back up that lane just because you've seen it quite a few times, and yeah, I'm just trying to show you a little bit of an explore rather than this is green lane video. It's all kinds of video, and this is exactly the sort of roads I love riding along. It's just amazing, just being surrounded by the woodlands here with these sunken roads. I mean, these ones aren't sunk as bad up here, but down here a little bit further, yeah, they've definitely scored their mark into the countryside. As you can see, it's just amazing. Do have to be careful of the road surface, because obviously when it's sunken like this, it doesn't dry quite so easily, and does have a lot of stuff falling from the verges onto it. But yeah, it's just wonderful, like a tree tunnel. Brilliant stuff. Oh, I do feel like it's on its way, you know, that spring thing. We're not through with winter yet, I know we're not. It always catches us out, it tricks us into thinking, yay, it's finally here once we get to March. But actually, we are definitely probably due some cold snaps, I'm sure of it. It might even get some snow down south at some point. But so far, our winter has actually not been too bad. It's just people's mood hasn't been the best, has it, this year? We're still trying to get our lives back together from the COVID and all that stuff, and then Russia invades Ukraine. Brilliant, wonderful. Thanks, Russia. Oh, but this is really nice. This is doing my head a world of good. A beautiful, beautiful motorcycle to run in. Fantastic country roads and glorious blue skies and yellow sunshine. Awesome! Oh yeah! Pretty sure the camera doesn't pick all that out, but it's glorious views, glorious views. Yeah, I absolutely feel like putting it in the aggressive throttle control mode has fixed the problem, or at least for me for the moment, until they sort out the other modes. Individual mode it is. I do find it odd that they have pre-programmed modes when they give you one that you can just select to have exactly how you want it. Yeah, I just find that a little bit odd. I get having the off-road mode and I get having a road mode, but what they should do is just have two modes. So you've got an off-road mode and a road mode, and you flip between the two, but you set them up how you want. So they're not sort of predetermined with what they think you want. They're actually fitted with what you want, how you've set it up, how you've chosen to have it. I don't know, maybe that's just asking too much from the world. I do get that what you could end up then doing is turning off all the ABS and traction control on those modes, sell the bike, and the unsuspecting person who borrows it assumes that they've got a bike with all those rider aids, and then they goes and stacks it into something. So I used to live just around here. Not up here. I used to hang around in the field there, flying my little model aeroplanes with my dad when I was a kid. Bit of nostalgia here. The church we used to go to when I was a person forced against my will to go to church is just up there. Now I think I could go that way as a shortcut, but why when I can go this way? And yeah, this road here that we were just about to enter, I used to live down that road. The house now is probably worth a small fortune, if not a large fortune. It wasn't back then, that's for sure. It was actually used as a brothel prior to us. Nice, interesting property. Right, let's get you turned off while we get rid of this rubbishness. Who likes town riding? No one does. Righty, so this lane here, the next one that I'm exploring to see if they've cleared it or not, is Beggar's Lane. And again, this is a lane that I came down with Big Pezza the other week, or last week, and it was blocked a little bit further up. Well, let's get it into off-road mode. This used to be my absolute nemesis, but they've graded it now, so it's really easy. Let's get some airflow. Yeah, it used to be chalk, and in the autumn and winter it would always be just running water effectively, or just surface water on it, and it was just like ice, absolutely like ice. But hopefully they've cleared it now. It was just around this corner here, there was a tree down, and we had to venture off-road here. As you can see, some people have taken a little bit off-piste action there to get around a tree that was down here. And we made it up past that, and then as we get a little bit up here, there was another tree down around here, I think. Yeah, you can see all the debris from where they've had all the other branches and things. And then up here, I think this is where the main tree was that was down, I'm not sure. Was it here? No, not here, there was another one. I think, don't know, here, yeah, it was possibly here. But yeah, so it looks like they've cleared it for us, that's good. So we've got this one back. Beggar's Lane is good to go, which is good because we're on Beggar's Lane. Although it's quite easy now. Let's stick it in first. I'm running the bike in, I don't want to lug it too much. Yeah, although it's an easy lane for the road surface, it's quite a climb, GoPro never picks that out. It really doesn't. It's quite annoying that it doesn't. But yeah. And I'm missing my sticks pegs off my Beta. But at least you can dig your knees into the soft saddle on this, and that does help with gripping your body in place, so you can sort of rely on the core muscles a bit more than your arm muscles. You really don't want to be using your arm muscles to hold on to the bike, because it just doesn't work. Yeah, right. Again, I'm not going to go too fast, or even as fast as I would normally. One, because not familiar with the bike, and two, there could still be obstacles because of down trees and stuff. Just because they've pulled those ones out of the way, as we saw with Wolven's Lane, there could still be others that they've not got around to yet. I guess it's when they can get the working parties to do the various different types of tree felling. But this bike, oh man, I'm so happy. I was so worried that it was going to be a bad decision going for a proper adventure bike, that I wouldn't be able to get on it and ride it, that it would be too big and heavy to do this sort of stuff. But this is just like a little peach at these sorts of paces. I know it could all go very horribly wrong quite quickly if I tried going too fast, or if I got into something a little bit stickier than my skill set allows. But yeah, I'm absolutely in love with this motorcycle. It's just blooming brilliant, and I'm so glad that I did the wise thing of changing the tyres to the Tractionators. I know I've said that already this video, but I think that was a very good move. yeah, as you see, there's still a few overhanging branches and stuff that have fallen in the winds, yeah, although I've got a crash helmet on and all that, I still don't want to headbutt them. Yeah, see, more fallen trees in the pathway a little bit, and you come across these unexpectedly. It'll at least make you change course and possibly fall off, or if you hit them, you'll probably fall off too. Unless you're brilliant, and I'm not. First 2 gears on this are just perfect for me at the moment, and I'm sure once I get a little bit faster, then third gear might be something that I find usable out on the trails. I haven't really tried yet. I'm scared because it goes a lot faster than my Beta 390, that's for sure. I know on some of the clear bits on my Beta, I quite happily get into 4th gear, where I know I can stop in time if I see something coming. But 4th gear on this, that's well, I think that's sort of 70 mile an hour territory once it's running. Oh, wonderful. My brain is reset. Now, I would like to go straight on this bit, but I do know that it is proper boggy. But I also know that left here can get a little bit gnarly too. I really don't know what's best. It's a dilemma. I think I'm going to go left. I know in places it gets a little bit narrow, so it might be difficult to turn around. So I've just got to preempt by looking ahead, haven't I? Just got to preempt by looking ahead. Stupid headlight. Now this could be absolutely fine, or it could be an absolute terrible idea coming down here. Yeah, like I say, I think in some places it gets quite narrow, and if trees have come down in them, then I will struggle to turn around. But that big log up there suggests that the council have at least done some log clearing along here. But there is, as you can see, an awful lot of felled material here. I'll just go through at a mild pace. Not that I've been going anything other than that already anyway. Apparently there's a lumber yard around here, which is just at the bottom of the hill. I didn't know that's what it was, but with all these woods here, you're not surprised really. They're all sort of man-made, I think, or at least man repopulated. Alright, let's keep pace careful. They've got that truck here, so I'm assuming that there's a way through. They've blocked it. Oh, they're clearing it at the moment. Oh, okay. Oh, well, at least they have blocked it up here to show that that's what they're doing. Not a problem. Not a problem. Right, bridle path only. Got to turn around. Gonna have to try and go the other way. Not a problem. Okay, so I've turned around and come back up. It's kind of forced my hand to try this way. It does look like there's an awful lot of tracks along here, of cars as well, so potentially I'm going to be okay for log obstructions, but it's the water that's the thing that I'm kind of concerned about here, because some of it's really deep and a bit lumpy on the bottom of it. So I just need to make sure when I go through anything, I'm kind of careful with what I do. On my Beta, it's all just fun and games, it really is, because it's such a light motorcycle. That a good 50 kilograms lighter than this, if not more. I'm talking about that wet weight with full of tank of fuel and all that. Let's get that clutch covered. Now then, it is well slimy this, but ow, But looks like we're all good for water. All good for water, at least on that bit. Awesome. Oof. Yeah, definitely don't want these rubber inserts on the foot pegs on this bike for this sort of stuff. Alright, we're all on this side here at the moment. Now here, this bit, this is horrible. So bike made it no problem at all. It's my lack of confidence that made me wobbly there, not the bike. Brilliant. These tyres are fantastic. A lot of the time it's just keeping the momentum going that makes everything so much easier when it gets slimy. Alright, brilliant. Okay, well that's forced my hand as to which lane's next. It's up here, turn right and then turn left. That's my mirror gotten itself all loose. I'll have to tighten that. Now I've actually put a toolkit together for this bike, not a proper one and not one that I've tested fits the sizes of stuff, but yeah, I will probably do a video on that. Josh and Nat over MVDBR Enduro have just done the video on the tools and stuff that they carry on their bikes with them. It was quite interesting and they suggested others might like to do similar, so yeah, I might well do that once I've pieced together a toolkit for this bike for the green laning type adventure stuff. Yeah, unfortunately Aprilia didn't see fit to include any tools with the bike, so yeah, it's all on us to sort out what we want to bring with us. So the last few times I've come down here, when we get down to the bottom it gets very mushy, but I think actually a lot of it's all been sort of squashed down now, and the horrible sloopy gloopiness that it was before has been remedied, I think, just through use, because 4x4s are allowed down here and stuff still, so they flatten everything out. As you can see, so the mud in the middle there is well sloshy still, but if I stay in the tyre treads I should be absolutely dandy. This is the lane where I met that guy on the BMW, his brand new BMW that was taking it green laning for his first time ever green laning on his brand new that day motorcycle. At least when I took this green laning on its brand new first day, I'd done some green laning myself before. I never found out if the bloke found my channel or not. I hope he did. He was a nice guy. It'd be awesome to bump into him again if he carries on taking his bike out on the lanes. And certainly also if you dropped in a comment, let me know how he's getting on if you are here, because I don't know if you told us your name. I think we just told you who we were on YouTube, which is a bit kind of weird. Sorry mate, if you are here. Should have said, my name's Pete, hi, how'd you do? Yeah, this is nice. Oh, this is also where you've got to be careful, because it can be sloppy as slopness itself here. Pretty sure it's around this part where Phil 480 has had a couple of comings off and disconnections with his motorcycle. Alright, let's get it into first gear for this little bit, just because I'm going a little bit slower. Suspension seems alright. I mean, it's firmer than my Beta, but it's not causing me issues. The tyres are tracking nicely. It's just my feet on the pegs that I'm struggling with really at the moment. Oof, that one knocked me a little bit. Let's just get my breath back, stick it in neutral and take out that bloody high beam. Stupid switch. Yeah, I need to do something about that. Yeah, I can't put the stand down on the bike here, so I can't do it here. I'll wait until we get up to the top onto some tarmac. Well, that's my breath back. Let's carry on and try not to let the bike run away from me this time. Yeah, my feet are slipping off the pegs now. I've got actual mud on my soles of my boots. So I might, if I remember when I get home, make that my first port of call to get them off, so they're already off, ready for my next time I ride the bike. Ooh, she's running away from me a bit there. That's the thing, when you've got just that much more easy power, you forget that it's actually egging you on and making you go faster than you really should be. I'm trying to, even if I am sitting down, trying to keep at least a foot on the foot peg. Not that it's actually doing anything when I do that, but at least then I can pretend that I'm standing up. This will all get a little bit easier in a minute. I wish I was on the other side of the lane, but I'm not. I'm here. So this is what we are. This is what we have. Oof. Yeah, this is just, this next bit here is where Phil came off a few times when it was wet and sloppy, but now it's just rutted, and it's not too bad, I don't think. I certainly have plenty of grip, and the rut is actually quite nice and wide here, so it's not too scary. I'm not sitting there with the front wheel trying to ride up it or anything like that, but I'm definitely making sure I'm covering that clutch. I don't like being on this side of a lane, because if you get someone coming down the other side, they'll be coming at me on that side. Thank you. Oh yeah. Oh, this is better. Now we've got out of the bottom of the dip, it's all dried out. It's all dried out and it's much nicer. Oh yeah. Okay, so it does look like they've cleared all the way up here as well, which is good news. I definitely think I might want to adjust the suspension a little bit for future off-road trips. I'm not sure. It's doing all right, but I think it might appreciate being a little bit softer on the rebound and compression damping. Now then, here is the decision time. I go straight on and get another couple of lanes in, and then I can go to Riaker's, or I can go left and go to Newlands. That's an arsehole to turn around in. So Riaker's it is. Yeah, on the tool roll I've made for the bike, I don't know if I've got a suitable spanner to tighten up that mirror. I do think in my Oxford Products tool roll, I think that might have an adjustable, which will probably be large enough to do that, but I think I'll probably need 2 spanners, not 1. Alright, let's stop and see if I can tighten this mirror up. Oh yeah. Whew. Considering it's winter, still winter, it is a warm one, it really is. Awesome. So this is all up near Polesden Lacey in the North Downs area. Yeah, so all up near the Polesden Lacey part of the North Downs area. And here we have my last lane for the day, which takes us out up the top of Bookham. Where I'll turn right and head down to Riaker's, get myself a cup of tea or something. Oh, I'm so impressed with them tyres today, so impressed with them. Seeing how Pez struggles on his so-called 50-50 tyres. I mean, they're not 50-50 tyres what he has. They're hard-wearing touring tyres that you can do dirt on. That's the way I see it. I might be wrong, but as far as I'm concerned, you've got to have knobbles at least if you plan on going off-road. You just need a tyre that's strong enough to be able to do the tarmac stuff, especially the higher speed stuff. And that's, I think, one of the problems with the mud and sand, snow tyres is mud and sand tyres, M&S tyres, whatever they are, is that they can't really handle the prolonged high speed of motorways. I'm not sure whether they delaminate or what, I don't know. But you do have to check the speed rating of any tyres you fit to your bikes and make sure they're suitable for the speeds that the vehicle does. Now, when I chose the tyres on this, I did look at them versus the supposed top speed of this, and I think I'm alright with them. I do need to double check that. I mean, it's alright when I'm running it in, I'm not going to be going that sort of speed anyway, and to be honest, I don't know if I'd want to do 120 odd mile an hour on a bike with knobbly tyres. Thanks, mate. Thank you. Yeah, that doesn't strike me as a really good idea. I've noticed that I've kept it in individual mode rather than switching to off-road. Along there it wasn't really an issue because it's all just sort of stone chippings and stuff, so it's not really anything to stress about. But it does get a little bit muddy along here in a bit, or can do anyway, so I've quickly flipped it into off-road mode. Let's just stop here. Alright, can't see them any longer, so assume it's safe to go. Can't hear them. Okay, let's continue. It takes so little time to stop and let them pass. I should have thought about actually going out into the open bit before down tooling and turning everything off, give them a bit more room. Oh, it's so good that the council have cleared so much of the lanes and are still doing stuff to carry on with that. It's quite possibly the logging company that's doing the lane that I couldn't get past back there, because I'm sure they've got all the equipment there to get up and do it quite quickly. So it's kind of good of them if that is them getting involved and helping out clear everything. Mind you, I'm sure the council probably have to give them some money for helping out. Right then, so it's a little right turn here. Back into individual mode. Get the visor shut so you can hear me. Let's crack on. Back in the day, when I was a lad, many moons ago, this used to be an absolute racetrack for all the motorcyclists going to Riaker's Calf and all that. Yeah, it was a dual carriageway back then, and yeah, there was always crashes, and most of them, I think, sadly, were fatalities. So they eventually turned it into a single track, and then after that they've given it an average speed camera where you're not allowed over 50 mile an hour over the length of the road, which I guess it improves safety. It's just a shame people don't have the common sense to improve that for themselves, because it was a fun little route, this. But yeah, you had people coming out here from the restaurant and crossing the road there, and also at the junction just up here as well. And yeah, you have a motorbike cranked over going around this bend about 100 mile an hour. The person pulling out of the junction's not going to see him, and the person on the bike's not going to be able to stop, especially in the olden days with old tyres and rubbish brakes and suspension. But yeah, you can continue along the dual carriageway there and get into Riaker's, or what I prefer is coming this way and being on nicer roads with prettier views and an awful lot of oncoming cars. Might as well just let this one pass too. Come on. Oh, I am roasting. I haven't got any liner in this jacket. I've only got a t-shirt on underneath it, and it's supposed to be winter still. Brilliant. I have to say though, this RST kit is absolutely fantastic. I'm really impressed with it. It's almost too good. With the winter lining in, it's just too hot for doing this sort of thing. You'd want to be proper munching the miles all day long in the cold to warrant having that liner in, I think. And you certainly wouldn't want to be doing any green laning with it, because it's quite energetic. You might not think so with me pootling along at 15 mile an hour, but just imagine pootling along at 15 mile an hour on a mountain bike doing a downhill section. It's not energy free, even when you're using gravity to get you down. So when you have got a massive amount more weight, moving a motorcycle around is brilliant exercise, it really is. Right, well, here we are. We are at Riaker's Cafe once we get around this corner. Right, so if you haven't done so already, do click that subscribe button. It would be awesome to have you come back for some more. And if you like this video, why not give it a little thumbs up? And if you didn't, you can always give it a little thumbs down. That's all cool. It's all cool in the school. But please do drop in a comment. I very much love hearing from you. Anyhow, you ride safe, take care, and I shall catch you all in the next one. Bye bye for now.
Keep that bar from us on.
We're here.
You know, you gotta keep that bar rubber side down.
That Fireblade there, I believe, was a lad I rescued last time I was here. His bike broke down and he needed to get to a job interview. So I took him to his job interview and then had a food here and then picked him up from his job interview to get back to his bike. So I hope he's got it fixed since it's in a different place now. Awesome. Right, bye.